try to find somewhere once a year to go either with animals or children or a worthy cause that's ethical. So we do a lot of research at home, myself and a couple of friends, and we hit on Uganda Lodge as being quite a small project, quite personal. The first week we arrived, the children weren't back at school, so the priority was to smarten up the classrooms. It was a big job. A lot of classrooms hadn't been painted for 2 years.
The blackboards needed painting. I think I painted at least 10 huge blackboards. And the floors needed cleaning, the desks needed cleaning.
So we got involved with going into town, buying paint, etc. to paint the classrooms, repair some of the bits that were broken, and just tidying them up, getting the benches outside, washing them all down and making sure that the schoolrooms were fit enough for the children when they came back.
When I came to the Uganda Lodge, the first thing I did with the kids was serve porridge. And it's such a great way to get to know them and smile and get them to get familiar with you. So when you are walking into their classroom or around campus, they know who you are and you're not threatening. And it's really lovely when they all run up to you in the schoolyard and want to hold your hands and walk with you. And it's really one of my favorite things I've ever done. I always wanted to be a teacher, so I realized that instead of just traveling around Africa, I could come have an experience, go on safaris, and actually help kids at the same time.
The coffee planting was really enjoyable. Going out into the hillsides, the landscape is spectacular, so being out in the hillside was just amazing. Finding space for these tiny little seedlings to grow and knowing that in a few years' time they're going to be a full-grown coffee plant and hopefully sustaining the people around and bringing an income into the area is a really nice thing to be part of.
The gorilla trekking was way beyond anything that I really had anticipated. It's very hard to anticipate what the experience will be with a wild animal that is so powerful. And there are only 3 places in the world that you can still see them.
They were very, very relaxed. Obviously these are habituated gorillas, so they are well used to people, but we didn't expect them to be as relaxed as they actually were. So they had no problem with us whatsoever. They were looking directly at us, we were looking directly at them. They just carried on their normal behaviour, things like grooming, sitting down and eating, pulling shoots from the trees, lying down, resting, all sorts of different behaviours.
One of the trips I went on was the Batwa trip, which I was quite sceptical about, to be honest, because I have a fear of being a tourist gawping at natives. But in fact it wasn't like that at all. They were delighted to show their crafts there because they were displaced from the forest because of conservation measures. They want to show us how they used to live, and we were incredibly well looked after. It was a really good trip.
There were many highlights to the Queen Elizabeth safari. I suppose one of them must have been coming across a leopard fast asleep in a tree, just relaxed.
We saw lions, we had quite a long trek to find the lions, but it didn't ever feel as though we were being oppressive or chasing any animals.
Seeing lots and lots of elephant families together, relaxing, splashing water. Seeing 2 elephants negotiate their way through living alongside people and coming down to the boats. The local people just accepting them and the elephants accepting the people. That was really nice to see because there is this worry about conflict between civilization and animals, and it was nice to see that something had been sort of worked out there, that these elephants still felt safe enough to come in. Seeing hippos, lots and lots of hippos in the lake, crocodiles, just the whole experience was amazing.
I don't feel like I'm just, observing a culture. I feel like I've been embedded in the culture.
I think for a solo female traveller, this is absolutely ideal. It feels really safe. There are lots of trips that you can choose to go on or not, which are really excellent.
So if you're keen and you want to throw yourself into projects, which is me, you can do anything you want to do. So if you've got a can-do attitude and someone suggests something to you, would you like to volunteer for this particular project? If you say yes, you'll have an amazing experience.